First, let me just say good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
And good morning to all the elected officials who are here this morning. And Secretary Ron, thank you so much for being here. And as you well know, we've had discussions as it relates to our transportation plan. Great meeting in August with you as well. And we've been collaborating and having discussions around our tunnel. And we know that we just had some bad news as it relates to CSX, but I want you to know that in our conversations, and thank you for having conversations around that as well, because it brings about some changes in terms of how we look at our transportation plans moving forward. But what I want you to know, and all the elected officials especially to know, is that we are in communications with our entire congressional delegation because of the commitment that the state had made and the commitment that we've made as it relates to the double stack tunnel. We are going to continue to apply pressure because we've certainly not given up, even though it has created some changes for us. So thank you for that. Let me just say welcome to the City of Baltimore, and thank you all for being here this morning to discuss the state's Consolidated Transportation Program. We appreciate the opportunity to discuss Baltimore's transportation priorities, which will help provide a safe and sustainable transportation system in the city. And while I have some very specific things that I'll talk about this morning, I also wanted you to take note that there has been a lot of conversation, and it's not in here, but there's a lot of conversation around regional opportunities to transport our city people to job hubs around the state. And when I think of that specifically, I think about our Amazon location where we don't really meet all the transportation needs of individuals going there, and nor do we meet it in our surrounding jurisdictions. We've had conversations with the BWI partnership around Arundel Mills and the opportunities that are there. And there's also been discussion as to whether or not we create a rapid system that goes directly to those two hubs because they're so important to the city. We value our partnership with the state leaders, and it is our goal today to secure your support for transportation projects that we know will advance local and regional mobility, economic growth, and environmental quality. As we begin our CTP discussion this morning, again, I want to remind you of the discussion you had with our transportation people in August, and I think we were all on the same page. I think we also began our conversations as early as May last year, so thank you again. I'd like to discuss the restoration of highway user revenue allocations in Baltimore City to prior levels. Unlike other jurisdictions in the state, and I know you're well aware of that, the city is responsible for the maintenance of its roads. My first priority includes projects that involve economic development and attracting new residents to our city. We recently submitted what I am sure is the winning proposal for the Amazon headquarters, which includes improvements at Port Covington. The transportation improvements outlined in this proposal will be key to bringing jobs to our city and providing multimodal opportunities for the people of Baltimore to access jobs destined to this specific area. We look forward to working with MDOT, MTA, to provide the direct connections from Metro Light Rail, bus, road, bridges, and pedestrian and bicycle facilities that are critical to this important initiative. We are also excited about the North Avenue Rising project, which will be transformational opportunity for the city. The $27 million will certainly be used wisely and will include conversations with the community. In partnership with MDOT, MTA, this project will not only provide the infrastructure for improved transit, but it will also be a touchstone for economic revitalization for this entire corridor. We look forward to completing this initiative with our state partners. The city is also requesting financial assistance from MDOT as it relates to SHA for the maintenance of the Hanover Street Bridge, which is a major thoroughfare for South Baltimore. I don't know if you've ridden across it lately, but we invite you to do so. It is in deep need of repair. In 2014, Baltimore received a federal Tiger grant to study methods of rehabilitating and replacing this particular bridge. Components such as multimodal accessibility, freight access, economic opportunity, and quality of life issues through the corridors are being included in this study, which will be completed in 2018. Initial bridge replacement estimates cost upwards of about $150 million, and significant repair work to the decking of the Hanover Street Bridge is needed immediately for the ongoing use of the regional significant corridor. And again, I invite those of you who have not ridden on that bridge lately to do so, and you will understand how deeply we are in need of that. State funding is critical. It's critical and it's needed to properly maintain the bridge while the study is being complete, and as we move through the approval process to reconstruction or replacement on this important thoroughfare. The city is also looking to update our wayfinding signage used to provide directions to tourism destinations in the city. The sign, believe it or not, was originally installed in 1981. And after 36 years, we believe, and I'm sure you will agree, that they need to be replaced. In recent years, the city and state have discussed updating these signs in the city to be consistent with the statewide system, and we look forward to collaborating with our partners at MDOT to modernize our wayfinding signage. The city is requesting $500,000 for this particular effort. I'd also like to present the city's transportation priorities that relate to a safe city, including the modernization of signal infrastructure and infrastructure upgrades along bus routes in the city. The City of Baltimore remains strongly committed to investing in alternative modes of transportation, and we support MDOT's MTA's effort to modernize the transit service. We have been working closely with MDOT, MTA, on numerous aspects of the Baltimore Link program, including transit signage, prioritization, dedicated bus lanes, transfer facilities, and the placement of bike share facilities near metro and light rail stations. To improve transit in the city, as part of the LINK program, additional investment by the state is absolutely needed for these initiatives, particularly transit signal prioritization, since our older traffic signals system cannot accommodate this new technology. We request $4 million to upgrade the full traffic signal system. An ongoing funding stream also needs to be identified to maintain these improvements and enhance the overall experience for transit users. The new link system indicates routes along a number of major corridors in the city, some of which have not been resurfaced in years. A preliminary cost estimate of $10 million is needed to upgrade these roadways, and an additional money may be necessary for subsurface construction. The City of Baltimore is proposing a cost-sharing plan with MDOT, MTA, to resurface and reconstruct dedicated bus lanes, corridors, in order to provide a quality roadway network for this link system. Finally, I'd like to present our transportation priorities that relate to renewing infrastructure and enhancing multimodal innovations, including autonomous vehicle technology, the Charm City Circular, and the city's bike lane paths. We want to thank you for inviting Baltimore City to your work group, the one on autonomous vehicle technology. Through the collaboration and information gathering of this group, we will be able to work closely with the state to ensure deployment of this outlining edge technology in Baltimore City. I'm sure you're very aware that we are really into electric cars here. We put up electric stations even in some of our parks. We also thank the state for supplementing our Charm City Circular bus service. Your contribution has made the award-winning service accessible to a broader area and array of transit users, and is truly a complement to the Baltimore Link bus system. We are requesting an increase in the state's circular investment to $4 million per year. It not only is sustaining residents from job to job, but from colleges and universities as well. Sustaining the success that the circular has enjoyed is a necessary component of a complete and integrated transit network in our city, and we look forward to the state's continued financial support. And lastly, I'd like to thank the state for helping us to implement our bicycle program, and it certainly has not been without challenges. The joint initiative has provided benefits for advancing bicycle accessibility in the city of Baltimore, and we look forward to continuing these efforts for a multimodal transportation system. Secretary Ron and MDOT administrators, we look forward to our continued partnership as we work to provide a safe and sustainable transportation system in our city. We know that as we implemented the LINK system, we've had challenges, and we know that together we can continue to work on those and improve them and improve the access for all of the citizens of Baltimore. We hope that today's discussion will put us at a better path for addressing the city's transportation priorities, and we appreciate you coming out to share your consolidated transportation program with us. Again, I'd like to say thank you for this cooperation. It is a cooperative effort of us working together that will help us to transform Baltimore. Transportation is essential in our city. It is important to our employees, it's important to those who are trying to get to work, and it's important for those who are trying to get work. But one of the things that I remember when I first came upon a circular system in Denver, Colorado, and I heard someone say to me, you can just get on that bus and go almost anywhere you want. And we've implemented that system in Baltimore, but as you know, as we continue to grow our tax base, it's not where it needs to be. It certainly is not where we want it to be, and we can't do this work without the assistance and the cooperation of the state. So I thank you for taking time to listen to me. I hope that these discussions today will be fruitful and, more importantly, beneficial to the citizens in the city of Baltimore. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let me just say that we searched high and wide, Mr. Secretary, for what I consider to be an individual who I know will lead our transportation system in the right direction in Baltimore. Not only was she the Director of Transportation in Washington, D.C., she has also worked in the private sector and has a great deal of knowledge around transportation. So I know you've met Michelle, and you've had many great discussions, and thank you for receiving our letter as it relates to our priorities, and we will continue to have that discussion around the bridge. And again, thank you. Michelle?
May I actually say something?
Surely.
While you're here, 'cause I know you've got a very busy schedule and
Yes.
you're going to have to leave, but I just wanted you to know that, as you had mentioned, we've had an ongoing conversation about the needs of the city, and those started, obviously, we've been having these conversations for multiple years,
Yes.
and specifically, the requests that are in your priority letter were given to us verbally at the MACO meeting, in which we had roughly 45 minutes to an hour to talk through those. So there was nothing in the priority letter that was a surprise. I can say that they're not delivered as eloquently and forcefully as you've just done it.
Thank you.
But I can tell you we were very much aware of what the desires were for the city.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good morning. What a gorgeous day to be in Baltimore. And there is so many things going on regarding transportation. It's very nice to see former Secretary Jim Smith to be here. Jim? And it's always a pleasure to see him. We have many dignitaries here. We thank you very much for you to spend your time with us as we discuss the Consolidated Transportation Program, which I suspect if you're in this room, you know that it is a 6-year program. So let's get started. For the record, I'm Pete Ron, Secretary of the Maryland Department of Transportation, and thank you for inviting us to provide an overview of our CTP program, which covers fiscal years 2018 through 23. Regional Planner Tyson Byrne has copies of the CTP if you want one. They're over here, and we don't even charge you for them. And anyone online who wants to watch this has them available on our website as well. First, I'd like to introduce the Maryland DOT team that's with me today. We have from MDOT MVA Administrator Chrissy Nizer. Chrissy. And from MTA Administrator Kevin Quinn. From MDOT SHA, we have Administrator Greg Slater. Let's see, from the Maryland Transportation Authority, Planning and Program Development Director Melissa Williams. And from MDOT Maryland Aviation, MDOT Maryland Aviation Administrator Ricky Smith. And from the Maryland Port Administration, Director of Planning Jim Dwyer. And so Jim, why are you sitting out there? Come on up here. You thought you were going to get away with that, didn't you? And from the Secretary's office, we have our State Legislative Officer, Jeff Tosi. Jeff. Okay. So let's dive into this. We have a lot of information we want to share, and then we will be available to answer questions and take comments. And that's what this is all about, is for us to have a dialogue about what's important to the city of Baltimore and what the state can do and what's available. So for fiscal year 2018 through 2023 CTP, the Hogan administration is investing $14.7 billion in Maryland's transportation network, with 56% of the budget going to Maryland's roads and bridges. Above and beyond this funding, the Maryland Transportation Authority is investing an additional $2.6 billion in our toll roads and bridges. Since Governor Hogan announced his $1.97 billion investment in major road and bridge projects in June of 2015, MDOT SHA has started 16 of those 22 major promised highway projects. And that is just the major projects. We are investing in projects of every size in every corner of the state of Maryland. At that same 2015 press conference, Governor Hogan committed to fixing every known structurally deficient bridge at that time in Maryland. Of the 69 structurally deficient bridges the Hogan administration identified in 2015, 41 have been rehabilitated or replaced and are no longer structurally deficient. The remaining 28 are in various stages of design and are actively moving toward construction or repair. In addition to road and bridge projects, MDOT has a record number of construction projects underway across every business unit, a trend we started last fall. MDOT has a total of 846 projects under construction, including airport, highways, transit, port, bicycle, and motor vehicle projects at a value of $9 billion. Of those, the MDOT SHA Highway Administration alone has 552 projects underway totaling $4.39 billion. Thanks to Governor Hogan's commitment to making Maryland's transportation network the best in the nation, our targeted transportation investments have spurred record growth in our state, and Marylanders are reaping the rewards of these key investments. The administration has fulfilled its promise to lower tolls. The governor has saved Marylanders $122 million since 2015, and toll rate reductions will continue to save Maryland citizens and businesses approximately $54 million annually. With lower tolls, more people are using our toll facilities, driving up revenues higher than expected, allowing us to replace the nice bridge and study the new Bay Bridge crossing. In Baltimore, Governor Hogan launched Baltimore Link to connect residents to today's job centers and other life's opportunities. We will touch more on the success of Baltimore Link in a bit, but we are extremely pleased with the early results. At the Port of Baltimore, just 1 year after welcoming the first mega ship from the newly expanded Panama Canal, our container business is up 10%. In 2016, we set a record and handled the most containers ever, 538,000 containers. And just 1 year after the governor cut the ribbon on the new D&F connector at the Baltimore-Washington Thurgood Marshall Airport, we also celebrated new record numbers of passengers, with 25.7 million passengers using BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport in fiscal year 2017. Governor Hogan continues to direct us to think outside the box so that Maryland makes the most of our transportation dollars to deliver the best transportation network possible. As you know, the governor announced his $9 billion traffic relief plan to add 4 new lanes to Interstate 270, the Capitol Beltway, which is Interstate 495, and the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, which is Maryland 295, with a P3 approach and no new state dollars. Let me repeat that. No new state dollars will be spent preserving state dollars for local projects. Every day, more than 120,000 people get stuck in traffic on Maryland 295, sitting in 7 hours of congestion. These express toll lanes are going to bring great relief to the Baltimore residents that make the long trek into DC every day and help Baltimore businesses attract more employees to its city. Governor Hogan also recently announced Phase 2 of the traffic relief plan to implement smart signal corridors throughout the state utilizing artificial intelligence. Smart signals are replacing the existing outdated, unresponsive traffic corridors or controls. With this new smart signal technology, which operates with adaptive signal control systems, we will finally be able to respond to changes in traffic flow and to changing traffic conditions immediately without human intervention. MDOT also continues to work hard to deliver projects quicker and provide better customer service across all 6 business units through our performance management system called the Accelerator. The result is an award-winning agency. In the past 2.5 years, MDOT has received more than 167 local and national awards for delivering outstanding initiatives while meeting the daily transportation needs of Marylanders. The key to our success is MDOT's 10,206 dedicated employees. I am proud to say MDOT employees are some of the smartest, most talented professionals I have ever worked with. The MDOT team is truly committed to providing great customer service and delivering promised projects that connect Marylanders to life's opportunities. In fact, in another customer service effort, we just launched a customer-friendly website, MDOT One Stop Shop, where Marylanders can have their transportation needs addressed in one place. Nearly 350,000 people have visited our new website. The interactive website is m.onestopshop.maryland.gov. I imagine that surprised all of you with that title. This website lets Marylanders access multiple services where they can renew their car registration, they can get Easy Pass for our toll facilities, check the flight status at BWI Marshall, or look at MDOT job opportunities, just to name a few options. Feel free to visit MDOT's one-stop shop on your computer from the luxury of your home. In addition, excuse me. In addition to MDOT's one-stop shop, excuse me, we now offer customers the opportunity to purchase Easy Pass on MDOT's MVA online store. When you are done with your MDOT MVA vehicle transaction, the online store immediately asks you if you'd like to buy an Easy Pass. We just started offering the service September 30th, and as of October 31st, 2,571 people have purchased Easy Pass on the MDOT MVA website. Now let me walk you through some of the key updates at MDOT's business units. At MDOT MVA, in tune with Governor Hogan's administration emphasis on customer service, the MDOT Motor Vehicle Administration reduced wait times by 8% statewide. At the MDOT MVA office on Reisterstown Road, the wait times have been reduced more than 6 minutes over the previous year. The average wait time is down to 24 minutes. You now have time to go to MDOT MVA and eat lunch as well. But MDOT MVA customer service is about far more than just reducing wait times. MDOT MVA is now offering additional services and products electronically, quickly processing customers by utilizing an electronic tablet to verify their information when they arrive, offering for the first time ever standalone vision screening stations to allow customers over the age of 40 with an easy way to get screened so that they can get their driver's license online or at a kiosk. Extending the customer call center service hours to 5:30 p.m., which resulted in an additional 327,000 customer call inquiries answered, and allowing customers who need to renew their driver's license or identification card to start the application online and make an appointment to complete it at a branch location through online pre-check. Sort of like a fast pass at Disney World. Only everybody knows MVA is more fun than Disney. Our MDOT MVA Administrator, Chrissy Nizer, who is a superstar, also serves as Governor Hogan's Highway Safety Representative, and her office has been aggressively working with federal, state, and local partners to develop solutions that will save lives on Maryland roads. The 522 roadway fatalities we experienced in 2016 is unacceptable. And it is up to all of us as state and local leaders to target the most common causes of roadway fatalities in Maryland: impaired drivers, speeding, not wearing seatbelts, distracted driving, and not using crosswalks. We have encouraged local jurisdictions to adopt your own highway safety plans, and we are pleased that 11 jurisdictions have already adopted one or are in the process of doing so. Baltimore City has not yet developed its own highway safety plan, but we encourage you to do so. Our Maryland Highway Safety Office will be happy to assist you. Our goal is to save lives in Baltimore City, and together we can make a difference. Our efforts to reduce fatalities and save lives received a big boost when Governor Hogan recently announced $12 million in highway safety grants, including $85,000 for the Baltimore City Police Department. MDOT MTA makes a significant investment in transit services in Baltimore City through the operation of 56 local bus routes. Metro, Subway Link, Light Rail Link, Mobility Link, MARC train service, and 5 commuter bus routes. With more than 350,000 rides per day, MDOT MTA provides critical transit services that safely get people from their origin to many of life's opportunities, and are a key driver of economic development and opportunity, which we have just heard from the mayor. We are excited about the progress we have made with Baltimore Link, which launched on June 18th. For the first time ever, Baltimore area residents can count on high-frequency bus service that arrives about every 15 minutes between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. weekdays, much like light rail link and metro subway link. More than 130,000 additional people now have access to high-frequency transit within a quarter mile of where they live. That's a 32% increase over the previous system. More households have better access to jobs with Baltimore Link. The average number of jobs accessible within 30 minutes on transit has increased 11%. And an estimated 37,500 jobs are now within a quarter mile of high-frequency transit. That's 14% more than with the previous system. We've also increased service to a variety of job centers by significant percentages. Service to the Amazon Fulfillment Center is up by 14%, to Canton Crossing by 40%, to Johns Hopkins University, Bayview Hospital by 18%, and to Woodlawn Social Security by 11%. Dedicated bus lanes downtown are getting transit riders to their destinations up to 25% faster during rush hours. And transit signal priority enables our buses to delay a red light or prolong a green light. That's helping our riders get where they're going up to 20% faster than before. It's important to note that we aren't stopping here, and other exciting changes are underway. Beginning Monday, November 13th, MDOT MTA will launch a series of 10 public hearings to discuss upcoming proposals for the winter of 2018 service changes. One of the highlights is a proposed new route to the Trade Point Atlantic development in Sparrows Point, which would be known as Local Link 63. The new Local Link 63 would provide service from downtown Baltimore to Trade Point Atlantic via Johns Hopkins Bayview campus, a key transfer hub for our riders. A total of 24 routes and all MDOT MTA rail modes will connect with the proposed Local Link 63, providing expanded access to Trade Point Atlantic from locations including Catonsville, Curtis Bay, Essex, Towson, Owens Mills, White Marsh, and West Baltimore. We invite anyone interested to come out to one of the upcoming 10 public hearings. You can find out more info at www.mta.maryland.gov. On to some other great transportation news for Baltimore City. Just a few weeks ago, Governor Hogan and I were here to share with you the exciting announcement that dramatic neighborhood-shaping improvements were coming to North Avenue. Governor Hogan put forward $14.7 million for this key project. The U.S. Department of Transportation awarded a $10 million Tiger grant, and the U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Highway Administration put forward $1.6 million towards this project, and Baltimore City Department of Transportation has contributed $1 million. Known as North Avenue Rising, this $27 million multimodal investment in Baltimore City's transit infrastructure will launch economic development in the area and that has been stagnant in terms of job creation for far too long. North Avenue Rising will bring dedicated bus lanes, new bike facilities, enhancements to light rail link and metro subway link stations, targeted improvements at major bus stops, improved sidewalks, streetscaping, and other roadway enhancements along North Avenue corridor. Studies show that fewer than 47% of the households in North Avenue corridor have access to a reliable, privately owned vehicle. With North Avenue Rising, a partnership between federal, state, and city government, residents who have been overlooked will witness a revitalization, a true game changer for the people living on or near North Avenue. And while there is often focus on the bus system, let's not forget about the significant investment in Baltimore's rail infrastructure. MDOT MTA is investing $400 million to replace the Metro Subway Link rail cars and signal system. The new vehicles will replace the existing fleet, which is nearing the end of its useful life. The replacement of the railcar fleet will enhance passenger comfort and convenience, ensure better reliability, and improve safety. The modern signal system will improve safety and reliability of the metro system. Additionally, MDOT MTA's light rail vehicle fleet is undergoing a midlife overhaul. We are investing $150 million to overhaul the major systems on the light rail trains to ensure safe, reliable service to the end of the car's useful life. Finally, MDOT MTA is investing $40 million to retrofit MDOT MTA buses with a unified, integrated, state-of-the-art suite of onboard bus equipment. Currently, our bus operators have to log on to multiple systems when they board the buses. Our new system will have a single point of log-on to fully integrate all systems, and it replaces the decades-old CAD AVL system currently on the MTA buses. This will allow more accurate and reliable real-time information to passengers. Baltimore City residents also rely on MARC commuter rail service to get to jobs in Washington, D.C. and other destinations. The MDOT MTA investment of $52 million to overhaul MARC passenger coaches is well underway. In addition, MDOT MTA has dedicated $61 million for production of new MP36 diesel locomotives. And the Federal Railroad Administration also recently approved high-speed testing for 54 MARC coaches. Given the significant investments in MDOT MTA's bus and rail network, it's truly an exciting time at MDOT MTA. The mayor referred to highway user revenues. For your local transportation projects, we also are providing your $882.7 million in highway user revenue for Baltimore City over the next 6 years, which includes the additional $5.5 million in grants awarded by the governor. The Helen Dielich Bentley Port of Baltimore remained 9th largest port in the U.S. for value of international cargo. During the first 6 months of 2017, the port handled cargo valued at $26 billion, a 2.4% increase over the prior year. In fiscal 17, the state-owned MPA terminals set a record for general cargo, handling 10.1 million tons of cargo from autos, heavy machinery, to containers. With Jim White's leadership and hard work, the Port of Baltimore remains the #1 port in the U.S. for autos and roll-on, roll-off machinery. With its 50-foot deep berth and supersized cranes, the Port of Baltimore is one of 4 East Coast ports able to accommodate the biggest container ships in the world, which supports our amazing container business. The port also signed new extensions with its 2 cruise lines, Royal Caribbean and Carnival, for year-round cruising out of Baltimore to 2020. Here in Baltimore City, businesses like National Gypsum, which is building materials, Titan Steel, Bitumer, USA, paving asphalt, C. Steinweg, logistics, and Balterm, forest products, all use the Port of Baltimore. At BWI Marshall Airport, passenger traffic continues to grow steadily, with new airlines in service to new domestic and international markets. In addition to the 25.7 million passenger record from fiscal 2017 that I mentioned earlier, strong growth has continued with 26 straight monthly passenger records through August. In support of continued passenger growth at BWI Marshall Airport, we are building the International Concourse extension that is scheduled to be complete in 2018. This extended concourse will add 6 passenger gates, increasing the total number of international gates to 14, provide new aircraft parking apron, and enhance immigration processing functions. In response to increased air cargo activity at BWI Marshall Airport, midfield cargo area improvements, including apron expansion and 3 aircraft parking positions, were completed last week. The Concourse B apron reconstruction project is to be awarded in fiscal 2018 includes the reconstruction of Concourse B apron from gates 6 to 15. The project will enhance airfield safety and operations through reconstruction of pavement to meet Federal Aviation Administration standards. If you haven't been to BWI recently, it is truly growing by leaps and bounds. MDTA's highest priority is improving the quality of its customer service. MDTA is actively procuring its 3G tolling and customer service contracts, which will revolutionize tolling operations, including flexibility for customers, and establish measurable performance standards. The 3G system will be fully implemented in early 2020. As you are aware, we continue to make progress on the $5 million Tier 1 National Environmental Policy Act study for a third Chesapeake Bay crossing. The two main goals of this study are to identify where the crossing will be located and how it will be financed. The study began in January of 2017 and will take up to 48 months to be complete. Toll rate reductions continue to save Maryland citizens and businesses approximately $54 million annually. Easy Pass usage among Baltimore City residents has increased by 10.3% since December of last year. There are now 78,385 Easy Pass account holders in Baltimore City. On a construction-related update, before the Canton Viaduct reconstruction on I-895, the MDTA will reconfigure travel lanes on a 4-mile stretch of I-95 north of Fort McHenry Tunnel. The project will provide 4 continuous lanes from the tunnel to Moravia. That's Moravia. I look at that and go, that didn't get that one right. Moravia Road. Work will be complete in the summer of 2019. Work also continues on the $48.5 million rehabilitation project on the bridge carrying 895 over the Patapsco Flats. Two-way traffic in the work zone is expected until early 2019, and the entire project will be complete by the summer 2019. Additionally, I-95 Access Improvement Study is looking at improved access in and out of Port Covington. The project is in the early planning stage. So in conclusion, before I close, I wanted to update you on the Chapter 30 law, which requires us to develop a scoring system for Maryland's transportation projects. We are working closely on this new system with MACO and MML and plan to present the draft scoring system at the MACO Winter Conference. I want to remind you that we are absolutely committed to continued communications throughout the year, not just at MACO and during the CTP tour. And now we can take any questions and comments. Thank you.